Alright, I'm gonna grab Zoe and then we're gonna finish feeding her. If you guys are just joining us, we're live here at Coe Riverside Farm. And we're gonna feed one of the sloths a little bit of food. Sorry for the network difficulties before. So, let's see if we can make it work right. So this is Zoe. This is who we're gonna feed. We are located in Benton, Tennessee, halfway between Chattanooga and Knoxville. I'm Kevin. This is Flash up above me. Zoe here is having a little bit of snacks. So if you've ever wanted to come hold an awesome sloth, you can do that with Zoe. And she is a cutie. This is an armadillo. This is Baku, the three-banded armadillo. And the reason we have him is he is slightly related to the sloths. He is part of the superorder of Zothorans, and that's the ability to curl himself up in a little ball. When he wakes up here in a little bit, we'll pick him up again. I'm gonna let him run around. We're gonna be doing a sloth encounter at 10 a.m. So if you keep watching, we'll definitely be jumping into that. Probably gonna try to go get a little bit of the baby kangaroo bottle feeding, which is super cute. That's right, you can come here and Flash here is pretty excited, but he's going to be doing an encounter at 10 a.m. So if you want to see what a sloth encounter looks like, join back at about 10 a.m. and you'll be able to see. Zoe here is munching away. She is enjoying it. She's eating some sweet potatoes, some squash, a little bit of zucchini, and Flash here is hanging out and saying hi. I'm going to see if I can adjust this. Hopefully the feed is a little bit better. I think I fixed the issue. Sorry about that. Zoe's birthday was December 16th and she turned 1. Hey Flash, I don't have any food for you yet, bud. We don't have any food yet. Flash is gonna eat at 10. He's a little bit pickier, so we let the guests feed him. And so Flash will be doing an encounter at 10 and 10:30. I give him a little bit of snacks here and there because I don't want him to feel not loved, but we can't have him fill up. Can we, Flash? This is Flash. He's about 7 years old. And this is Zoe. So if you've ever wanted to come hang out with some really awesome sloths, you can do that here. Flash, I know, bud. You gotta watch out for those little claws, huh? Morning, Michael, come on in.
Where's Michaela at?
Where's Michaela? I don't think it's 9:30.
Oh.
What you got there? A little cup of happiness?
Oh, I don't know exactly what it is yet. I just found it.
It's like a little baby mouse.
Oh. I think it might be a tiger.
It is a tiger. Guys, do you want to see the coolest tiger in the world? He's going to show it. There it is. That's the Tigris fragus, otherwise known as the jumping tiger. Is that right, Michael?
I don't know, but I trust your word.
I don't think Michael's had his coffee yet. Zoe's like, what is that sound? I do not recognize it. Guys, if you keep watching, around 10 a.m. we'll be doing a sloth encounter. Pretty awesome. And then we're also going to check up with a little bit of the farm tour. So when you come here to the Cody Riverside Farm, make sure that you do the farm tour. It's a great way to see some of the 150 animals that we have here. We have sloths, kangaroos, llamas, alpacas. There is a ton of animals. I'm going to check one of these cameras here. It's saying I'm doing something wrong. Alright, I think I got everything correct. Old technology sometimes is a pain in the butt. Right, Zoe? Zoe doesn't have to worry about cell phones because she doesn't have phones. Hey, Flash. You're going to get fed a whole ton at 10 a.m., but I'm going to give you one more because you're my boy. You don't like the smell of that one? Alright, well, Flash is getting it. There's another squash. We got some sweet potato. Baku is running around like crazy. Baku is our three-banded armadillo. And this is Baku. Baku is a three-banded armadillo, and he is slightly related to the sloths because he is a Zothoran. That is the super order that has the ability to curl themselves up in a ball. Look how cool he is. He's all curled up. No, Flash, you can't have Baku. Pretty cool. Let's see if Zoe wants this last green bean. Let's see. You want the last one? Alright, it's Flash's. You sure you don't want it? Then Flash gets the green bean. That's the deal. You don't want it? Zoe's not a big a fan of green beans as Flash is. Flash could eat green beans all day long. Alright guys, I'm going to let you hang out here with Flash in just a minute. And then we're going to try to go and catch up, hopefully, with a kangaroo encounter, which is where people bottle feed the baby kangaroos. But while we're standing here, I probably can answer a couple questions if you have any. What kind of questions do you guys have? Where are we located? We're located in Benton, Tennessee, halfway between Chattanooga and Knoxville. So if you ever wanted to hang out with a bunch of awesome animals, you can come here and do it. And we have covered wagons right along the banks of the Cody River. It is beautiful. We have lodging for up to 40 people, so riverside cabins and all that. How far from Indy? Indianapolis? Probably an hour flight or maybe 5 or 6 hour drive. Are sloths friendly? Well, our sloths are really friendly, but a wild sloth you wouldn't want to hang out with. If sloths are your spirit animal, come visit. We have 3 sloths here and another 150 animals. So we have a baby named Dash, who is only about 7-8 months old, and a little tiny cute nugget. We have a baby Bactrian camel named Humphrey, and he's about the cutest thing ever. Do you have any other primates? Oh, we got a bunch of humans. Yes, and we have a spider monkey, Georgie. Yep. Where are we located? We are located in Benton, Tennessee. What are the prices? Go to our website at CodyRiversideFarm.com. It is all on there. It is really, really cool. And the cool thing is if you are staying here, like staying in our lodging or wagons and cabin, camel condo, you get 20% off of most of your encounters. So it's pretty cool. Alright guys, enough with the sales pitchy stuff. I'm going to put Zoe up and then we're going to try to catch up with the kangaroo encounter. So give me just a minute to put Zoe up. You can hang out with Flash and we'll be right back. everybody's fed.
Okay.
All your stuff is choppied.
Cool.
She didn't get a lot of rice because I think she eats a ton of food. I didn't give her any rice. I just gave her veggies.
Okay.
Because I'm like, you're gonna weigh 700 pounds. Alright guys, I think we got a kangaroo encounter in here just a minute. Let's see if I can get this set up. You can hear the cacophony of goats and sheep.
Way better.
Are you going to do the Highlands?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I'm come up there in just a second. Hey, Fallon, we'll leave this kind of near you. If the kangaroo people come in, we'll flip it around. All right, guys, let's see if we can catch up with the Scottish Highland cows, and then we'll come back down here to the kangaroos. Sorry about all the jostling around, guys, trying to get through all these pastures. Well, I thought they were coming up here to feed the cows, but the cows are in a totally different area. So we're gonna go back down with the baby kangaroos. This is Franklin the tortoise there. He is a sulcata tortoise, and he's really cool. Here you can see more of the pastures. We have a 30-acre farm here with over 150 animals. Some of the llamas and ponies hanging out there. We're gonna be using these llamas for trekking soon. Let's get you guys in there with the kangaroos. They should be doing a bottle feeding with them.
So these guys, these are baby kangaroos. So we're primarily talking this morning about baby kangaroos. The baby kangaroos, when a baby kangaroo is, well, a female kangaroo continually makes a chemical similar to pitocin, which is what gives a human female to induce labor. They make it all the time unless they are malnourished or dehydrated. If they're malnourished or dehydrated, they shut off making pitocin because they won't birth a baby that they can't nourish. Gestation for a kangaroo is 33 days. Fertilization to birth, 33 days. When the baby is born, it is 2 grams. So like the size of a jelly bean. Crawls on its own to its mother's pouch in about 3 minutes. Gets to the pouch, latches onto a teat. The baby is so small it can't even suckle, so the mother is actively pumping milk into the baby's mouth. But it has to be latched on for the mother to start to do that. The act of nursing a baby kangaroo makes the mother produce a second chemical that is a blocker on the pitocin. Still makes pitocin, but there's a blocker on it, so it doesn't induce labor. So if the baby, the first baby makes it to the pouch and latches on, that makes a blocker. If the first baby does not make it, the kangaroo has 2 uteruses. They're pregnant in both uteruses basically their entire life after their first pregnancy. They do have to be refertilized for every subsequent pregnancy, but they will essentially be pregnant every day of the rest of their life. So if the first baby does not make it to the pouch and begin to nurse and turn on the blocker, 2 days later it's built up enough pitocin to induce labor again, and boom, fire 2, birth from the second uterus. And you're welcome to walk around and play with these kangaroos. I can talk to the back of your head just fine. And if you don't want to listen at all, it's not going to offend me. Kangaroos are awful much cuter than I am. So feel free to walk around, and if you happen to listen to what I say, that's fine. If you don't, it's not going to offend me. So if the first baby does not make it to the pouch, then 2 days later it's built up enough pitocin and fire 2, birth from the second uterus. So every time it bursts one, it has 2 opportunities for one to make it to the pouch. And they say they're in a semi-embryonic state the first 90 days in the pouch. So it has 2 opportunities for one to make it to that point. The baby kangaroo, once it gets to the pouch and latches onto a teat for the first 70 to 90 days, it will not let go even once. During that whole time, the mother is making something more similar to colostrum than milk, because it is essentially nursing an embryo. At 90 days, it shifts over from making milk, colostrum, to making milk. The first 70 to 90 days, the baby is so small and underdeveloped, it needs all the nourishment it can get. The baby will continue in the pouch. The first time it will stick its face out of the pouch is 6 months of age. We have one outside that has just started holding its head out of the pouch. You can see that on our Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. The baby will then continue in the pouch until 7 months. First time they jump out of the pouch is at 7 months of age. From 7 to 8 months of age, they can go in and out of the pouch. At about 8 months of age, they are too large to get into the pouch anymore. They can still stick their face into the pouch to nurse. Mother may let them nurse for as long as up to 10 or 11 months of age. Here we bottle feed our kangaroos because that is the only way to get friendly kangaroos like this is the bottles. So that all sounds pretty pretty normal. From there it gets straight up weird. So if the first baby does make it to the pouch and turns the blocker on the Pitocin, what happens to the second? So what happens to the second is freeze frame in utero. It's called embryonic diapause. The baby will just freeze frame. It will not progress. It will not regress. It will remain exactly the way it is from 33 days until forever. It can remain in that state for days, weeks, months, or years. The mother, given that it's birthing something 2 grams the size of a jelly bean, it is not a remotely traumatic birth. So the female generally breeds back the same day. So having 2 uteruses and overlapping pregnancies, they will literally be pregnant for the rest of their life. So the baby goes into embryonic diapause and remains that way for days, weeks, months, or years. What happens with that is the baby will remain exactly the way it is until the mother is ready to deliver another. There are 2 things that makes the mother ready to deliver another. Number 1 is if it stops nursing whatever baby it's currently nursing, that takes the blocker away from the Pitocin, or it's another one. The second thing is if the female literally becomes overweight, too high body fat content, that means it has the ability to nourish more because it's getting more nutrients than it needs. So it will double up the production of the Pitocin to bypass the blocker, and it will birth a second baby. But then once there are 2 latched on in the pouch nursing, that doubles up the amount of blocker, and it cannot possibly birth a third because it cannot bypass the blocker twice. So the kangaroo, if the second baby comes up to the pouch due to the mother being overweight, so it is still nursing another one, if it is shifted from colostrum to milk, the second teat will start over again with colostrum. So the one that was using the teat making milk continues using that one. The new one is using the teat making colostrum. So that's the only animal I'm aware of that can make 2 different products with its 2 different teats at the same time. Kangaroos are drought resistant because they have a method of ensuring that the group survives, not the individual kangaroo. So given that the normal family group is 1 male, 50 females, the 1 male is statistically insignificant to the population number. The kangaroos can, so if they go into the drought, and a drought in a desert place can last for a couple of years, when they go into the drought, the females all throw all of their babies away. So that puts a cap on the demand on the mother's bodies to produce milk, and puts a cap on the demand on whatever food source remains throughout the drought. So say the drought is long and half of them die. They go into the drought with 50, they come out, say 25. Which 25 are going to survive? The strongest, the weakest obviously. So they come out of the drought with 25. At the end of a drought in a desert place is normally a time of heavy rainfall. And that makes everything lush and green. So the kangaroos re-nourish, rehydrate right away. They start making Pitocin again. And within a few days, they all have a baby. So their numbers have gone 50, 25, right back to 50 because they all have a baby. And then they all have a second one on deck. And the mothers gorge themselves and get overweight pretty quick after the drought. So they all have a second one. So their numbers have gone 50, 25, 50, 75. So the kangaroos come out of the drought stronger by individual and greater in number than they went into the drought. That is why kangaroos are absolutely prolific in the deserts of Australia. So because kangaroos survive drought so well, these are all reds. In addition to reds, there's eastern greys, western greys, desert kangaroos, a bunch of kinds of wallabies. Between all those animals, they outnumber humans in Australia at least 3 to 1. Lots of them. A wallaby is a smaller in stature animal with shorter legs and shorter tail. It's not exactly a shrunk kangaroo. Proportionally, they're different, but in very broad, overarching terms of kangaroos, a wallaby is a small kangaroo. Much stubbier animal. Legs are shorter, tail is shorter, ears are smaller. Wallabies don't travel near as far on a daily basis as kangaroos do. That's more the adult kangaroo talk, but kangaroos travel something on the order of 15 miles a day to have enough food to eat. And the long legs are what make that possible. So you see the way that its leg comes down, and there's this huge tendon in the back of the leg. There's another one going along the foot right there. So they're moving by the force of springs more than by muscular action. When they're walking, they go, oh, it's front, back, tail, front, back, tail. And then when they jump only on the back feet. So when they jump, you know, when they come down, this is stretching the springs. And then when they go forward, throwing, the springs are throwing them forward. So they do not use near as much muscular force to move faster like we do. So for a human, if walking is effort of 1, then jogging is effort of like 3 or 4, and running is effort of 8 or 10. And top speed sprint like your Usain Bolt is effort of 15 or 20 times the effort of walking. For a kangaroo, when they're walking, they are called pentapeds, 5-footed, because the tail is a 5th foot. The tail provides as much of the motivational force as any of the legs. But when they're jumping, that's what activates the springs. They jump only on the back legs. So walking is effort of 1. Hopping around at 5 or 8 miles an hour is also effort of 1 because of the springs. Running is effort of like 2, and top speed sprint is effort of like 2.5. Where our top speed sprint is effort of 15, theirs is like 2.5. And that's important in the desert. Yes. Go ahead.
Can you come over to the next door?
I'm doing a kangaroo encounter right now. Tatum is out with flat tires still. They can be there in 15. Actually, I'm done with the talk. Can you feed these bottles?
Yeah.
I'll be right there. Fallon can take over and feed the bottle. So the springs are important because they can cover a whole lot more distance with not so much muscular effort, which would burn up a lot of calories. So if it was all muscles like us running, it would be desperately hard for a kangaroo to get enough calories to cover the distance that it covers every day. And Fallon is mixing up the bottles right now, and she's going to feed the bottles with you. Have you heard the way I make the videos for people?
Yeah, kind of.
Hey, will you make them a video while they make their bottles with
Yeah.
their phone? Thanks.
Put this one up so they don't get all of that.
On the way down.
She's getting the bottles ready. And we will bottle feed and make a little video.
Okay.
Where y'all from?
Right outside of Memphis.
Oh, cool. That's not too far.
I think you might be surprised how far Memphis.
Do what?
I said I think you might be surprised how far Memphis is. I have a friend who lives in Jackson.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he told me, he was like, oh, I live right next to Memphis. And we had just moved here from Virginia. And I was like, oh, Tennessee. So I got in my car. And I figured it would be like an hour and a half.
No.
It was
like
like,
5 or 6
yeah, it was like 5 hours. I was like, wow.
I like taking the non-interstate way, whatever highway hugs like the southern border of Tennessee. It's so pretty. It's like a state highway.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're not a real patriot if you don't pass the Bass Pro Shops pyramid.
Your dad asked something about, he goes, we don't have a pyramid. I said, well, I guess we could take the Bass Pro Shop one. He goes, what? I said, the one in Memphis. I said, it's a huge pyramid. I was like, we should just bring that here.
You wouldn't believe what it looks like inside.
Is it nice or not?
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's just, it's weird.
Looks like Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's in a pyramid. It's just so
Yeah.
weird.
Memphis has some interesting places. Some
Yes,
of the
it does.
truck stops are very sketchy.
Yes.
I'm like, this feels like a third world country.
Yeah. Yep.
And the other parts are really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on where you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went through Atlanta yesterday, and she was like, this looks just like Memphis. I mean, there was like a drug deal going on over here.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there was like this really like dressed up guy on the street, and then it was just, you know, we were in the hood, and then we went to a nice place, and then we went to the aquarium.
You can see all manners of society.
Yes, yes.
Very interesting.
I went to a church in Memphis that's probably the nicest church I've ever been to. And it was like a Pentecostal church, but all their people wore like robes and everything. And it was massive. And I have no idea the name of it, so all of this is irrelevant. But it was in Memphis.
Big churches in Memphis. Let's see what it was. I think she does that too. They're almost there. You guys have any more encounters today?
Sloths.
Oh, cool. Is that next to 10?
No, we have one at 12. We have both of the baby sloth at 12, and then 2 is another sloth.
Awesome, awesome. You guys will love it. You staying here or just come back to Memphis?
Just driving back.
Yeah, get some coffee.
I tried to get her to go through Seafood Falls,
Yeah,
or we've already done the aquarium in Chattanooga,
right.
and so but she was like, "No, let's just go home." And then I said, "Well, we're gonna maybe go to Huntsville. We go to the space station. She's never been there."
Yeah.
She's like, "Now I'm good."
But I
There-
it made some pictures from Huntsville Space Station.
There's a couple waterfalls here that you can hike to pretty quickly, like Benton Falls, and then we do hikes there. But you can at least drive up to the top, just to chill out how you overlook. You can pull it up on Google Maps. Just take the paved road up there, and you'll be able to look down and see Parksville Lake and stuff. It's really pretty. You can like bring food up there or whatever. It is fun. Do some rafting next time you come back.
Yep,
Maybe, yeah.
it looks cool.
We partnered with OAR, Outdoor Adventure Rafting, and we did a full trip with them like 2 weekends ago, I think. And it was a little chilly, but definitely fun. But they put on a good trip. Surprising how soft they are.
Oh, yes.
You say that this is the guy? Yeah, we're doing some babysitting for him. If you want, you can go ahead and give me your phone, and I'll make you guys a video. And what were the names again?
Ruby,
Your name?
Wilson,
Ginger. And what was her name?
Char.
Ginger Sharp, I think it's.
You guys wanna sit? Alright, so here's a bottle. And I'm gonna show you how to hold it real quick, and you can hold the bottle. So, with the same arm that you're holding them in, you wanna hold the tail. This hand is for you to do the bottle, okay? So I'm gonna put them in this arm, so it's a bottle there. And then you wanna grab the base of the tail. Yep, and then bottle.
I was like, do you know how to rig up a camera app on this?
You should, I should put the wrong thing.
Or probably pull up Snapchat.
You did. Alright, where's your
Just slide. And then, so you wanna let them get started.
There it is, there it is.
It didn't work.
You
So
know.
you wanna hold it kind of straight up.
Hey, is his light supposed to be off?
Yeah, I should be on.
Yeah. Here, Ruby. Oh, this one. Oh, precious.
Hey guys, we're live here at Cody Riverside Farm. It is June 6th. We are bottle feeding some awesome baby kangaroos here. What's it like holding a baby kangaroo in your arms?
Pretty awesome.
They're nice and cuddly, aren't they?
Yes.
There you go.
Just let them, yeah, let them drink it. Yeah, if it gets kind of towards the end and he hasn't drank a whole lot, then you can just do a really slight consistent. started and see how far they get.
Nolly. Sweet boy.
We'll feed them until, we'll do bottles until over a year. We keep them on
Okay,
bottles
fine.
as long as possible. Longer than what they usually need to be on bottles, just so we have friendly kangaroos. So our last girls were, I don't know, I'll say like a year and a half before they went out in the pasture. Nutritionally, they don't need bottles until after 10 months. And they were on a bottle for a year and a half.
Do they still stay friendly when they're out in the pasture?
Oh, yeah, exactly, and that's the whole point. Yeah. Yeah, so these guys are down to bottles twice a day, so we're slowly weaning them off of bottles, so nutritionally they don't need to be on bottles right now. And then, of course, they have hay and then they're, kibble. Now, and then for socialization, we keep them on bottles twice a day now, yeah.
Are precious.
Got it all. Got it all, baby. Did you guys get pictures? Did you want me to take pictures of them?
This is a video for us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get pictures on.
If you got still photos or not? I think you're gonna. I didn't want to grab her phone. I don't know if they got stills. Can we get this? Sure.
778877.
Anybody
Oh, we got the
call
phone.
for the 10 a.m. slot?
Yeah, there's a little cheat code for the camera, luckily.
Oh my goodness.
He's like, are you sure there's no?
I mean, it's like, I'm done. Come on, give me more.
We don't have any more.
Thank you. Hey, I think you got it all, sis. Or, what?
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
You're done, buddy. Is the mom seat this long?
Yeah, so it is anatomically correct, what it's shaped like. I've had them rip it off before. I'm like, that's good grip.
You're doing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Run around now.
I don't have any more. Y'all take it all. You make it all. I have some. Yours not one to drink right now. It's like slow babies.
Do we know how many people are supposed to be on the 10 a.m. farm tour?
14 people.
Here comes Blackjack, a little baby donkey, and he's about the sweetest little thing ever. What you doing down there, Blackjack? Hey, buddy.
People up here and so far not showed up.
All right, guys, we're gonna go put this back in the sloth enclosure. Let you guys watch a sloth encounter. There's nobody here.